Pep, this is a request from lesserpawn. Thank you, mate, for your suggestion. Number one status in Formula One, Pep. Do you think it's becoming or has become a bit of a necessity to win a world championship, or do you think that we don't need it and let's just press on? What do you think?
Well, I guess at the end of the season, when it's going to be the case of winning the World Championship or not, then definitely there should be some support. Yeah, Max, in terms of number one status, I think that Michael Schumacher, for example, showed that if you're winning and you're beating your teammate consistently during the year, then you do deserve to be supported if there's a few races where it could make or break the championship. But I'm a firm believer, mate, in letting drivers race throughout the season and letting them get on with it. But at the end of the season, if there's no chance for another driver to win the championship, then I say, yeah, team orders or number one status should be brought in. But also, I think that that they bring out the cars. They want to put two cars on the grid that are the best cars they can. So they're not going to try. If there's experimental parts or whatever, fine. But they're going to do the best they can for both drivers and look at the end of the season when that comes, if they need to.
That would be an interesting comment in light of this year's championship, where with McLaren we had Alonso and Hamilton only within a couple of points of one another towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
Based on Michael's premise that whoever's quickest gets number one status, who would you suggest got number one status in that team? I mean, it's a difficult question to answer. I think by and large I've always been the type of person that thought whoever is quickest probably should get number one status at the end of the day. But I'm also a believer that if your drivers are fairly close to one another, until one of them doesn't have a mathematical possibility of winning the world championship, then I think as being part of a team, that the driver who has no chance should support his colleague who does.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a difficult one. I guess there's arguments for and against. I mean, the other question is, would you decide number one driver status even prior to the season commencing? Would some teams do that? I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with having a senior driver and a junior driver, and therefore a supposed number one just because of seniority. But I don't, as McLaren did this year, they could have played it better, but they gave both cars, both drivers equal cars, and Lewis was the rookie and Alonso was the double world champion. But Alonso was the natural number one. But no, I think that they should be able to provide two cars that are just as quick as each other. Let the drivers do it.
But you look at over the last couple of years when Michael had, and quite rightly, number one status at Ferrari. I mean, he's always been quicker than his teammates, irrespective of driving for Ferrari or Benetton. But whenever any developments would be coming to races for Ferrari, Michael would always have the first
would
dibs.
Get them. Yeah.
So that to me means that you've already decided he's got number one status. We don't have all the parts to put on both cars, but we can kit one car up. We'll give it to Michael.
Yeah.
But I wonder whether this year at McLaren it would have been a similar situation. I don't know. Ron will tell you that no, each driver got equal parts, blah blah blah.
Yeah. That scenario that you just said, I've got no problem with that. If that's how they want to run their team, then that's how they do it. Sometimes you put a new part on and it doesn't work, but probably most of the time it does. But I've got no problem with that. I thought Michael had some teammates that were, of a lesser calibre, but also he had some teammates who were quite quick. So he won based on merit, and on that example, they rallied behind him and they should have.
It goes back to, again, what he said, whoever's quickest should be number one.
Same with Nick
in
the late 90s with McLaren, when he won his two championships, same thing. So they rallied behind him, and DC was...
he played a good foil too.
Yeah.
He did what he had to do, and Mika won both times, and obviously that's how McLaren wanted it, and that's what they got.
Yeah, exactly. Alright guys, well let us know what you think anyway. It's an interesting subject, Max, and thanks to lesserpawn for sending it in.
Yeah,
and we'll endeavour to answer more questions you know, if we can on on the video, but if not, in the comments definitely.
Yep, we'll see what we can come up with.
Okay, guys, we'll see you next time.
Alrighty, thanks guys. Bye.
Okay, bye.